list. But in this video, we're going deeper.
Artists
Into exactly how they built their wealth and escaped the music industry trap. Today, we're breaking down the richest artists in the game.
Hey,
and
Beyonce,
why the
hey,
industry
Drake with a
low-key hates
Lamborghini
him
behind him.
for it. Let's get
Bunny.
into it.
Chance the Rapper.
In an
Hacky
industry
Sacker?
built on record deals and label push, Chance the Rapper pulled off the unthinkable. He skipped the label, skipped the price tag, and still won.
How a record is broken down. So they tell you, you make a song, I write and I rap the song, I record the song. Once I release the song, there is what's called a master and a publishing portion of the record. So the master is the recording of it. So if I sign a record deal or a recording deal, I sign away my masters, which means the label owns the recording of that music. On the publishing side, if I write a record and I sign away my publishing in a publishing deal, they own the composition of work. So if I play your song on piano that you wrote, I have to pay you publishing money because it comes from that idea. Or if I sing a line from that song, it's from the publishing portion.
That's when I found out how much money my friend was making with DoorDash. There are opportunities in over 4,000.
Because it comes from that idea. Or if I sing a line from that song, it's from the publishing portion.
In 2016, he dropped Coloring Book. No label, no physical copies. It debuted exclusively on Apple Music and within days made history as the first streaming-only album to hit Billboard. On top of that, he went on to do something nobody thought was possible. 100% independent, and he won a Grammy. 3 Grammys. He didn't sell a single album. He didn't sign to a major label, but he had the respect of the entire industry. Instead of chasing record deals, he valued his freedom and monetized everything else.
There's people in the industry that are not like Sylvia Rome that want to see this all fall apart so that they can prove
but
that you need
labels work for certain
in order
people
to make it work.
Like
so
for somebody like
anybody
Chance,
out there that's an
a
independent
label when
artist,
he
my number one piece
worked
of
for
advice,
him
don't sign a
as
record
somebody
deal.
like,
don't sign a
how do I
distribution
put it,
deal.
just
Don't
like a
sign
broker, like Chance had to have
publishing
some
deal. Don't
form
sign
of
a
money,
management
because something
deal.
as simple as going to the studio costs like
pick out
a
your
good amount of
goals
money.
and go get them done. And
So
you can
like,
get them done.
then shooting a music video costs money. So Chance had to be like financially okay to make those different.
But you'll be in a great position.
You see, where he really made bank was his tour.
So like a broker
Colorful
person
tour
would need a record
packed
deal.
venues. He sold out merch and he turned it into
those
his whole
three has to go
financial
crazy.
empire. Forbes even named
He
him
made
the
a lot of
5th
money from
highest
those.
paid rapper in the world, clocking
Hey,
in
it's the Cookie
$33 million,
Monster.
all without selling an
33
album.
mil?
But that wasn't it. He started
Chance the
getting
Rapper.
brand deals.
Kit Kat rapper?
Kit Kat, where he appeared as Chance the Rapper. He starred in a Super Bowl
Because
commercial
he-
for
a little
Doritos.
Kit
He
Kat
cut checks
rapper,
with
little candy
Nike,
rapper.
H&M, and even Apple gave him $500 million for the exclusive release. Chance is a clear example that you don't need a label if you work hard, make music people love.
See, people say that, but you need money. Like, it costs money to go to the studio, and it costs a good amount of money.
Everybody wanted a piece, but
People
Chance
don't
made
just
it
have
loud
money
and
to
clear
do
his
that.
song,
A
No
label
Problem.
will give
If
you
one
the money
more
to do
label
that.
try to stop me, it's gonna be some dreadhead niggas in the lobby.
If one more label try to stop me.
Now, for those who don't get that line, he's basically saying that if one more label
Who
tries to
wouldn't get
disrupt
that
what I
line?
have going on, I'm going to bring my friends from my old neighborhood. They have dreadlocks, and we're going to come to the offices of the record label and cause a disturbance. But I digress. But even as his
Plus
bank
Lil Wayne's
account
on
grew,
that,
he
song.
always stayed true to himself. He valued faith, community, and independence, all while being worth $25 million.
The best thing I would say for independent artists is continue to create, grow, and cultivate your fan base.
And yeah, he had managers and industry connections. He had to play the game a little bit, but he never signed his rights away. Chance the Rapper proved the old model was broken. He built a career without a label. He won Grammys without the traditional
But
sales
even like,
model.
oh man, it was just a time. Because like even now, like
And even got
SoundCloud is
love
dead.
from Barack Obama,
Like
who named Acid Rap one of his favorite
started
albums.
coming up on that
He beat the
SoundCloud
system,
app,
all
but
while having
SoundCloud
a
is so
smile on his
dead now.
face
Like
and
people rarely get
laughing
on
in
that.
the
I don't
face
even
of
know
the
if people
labels that
even
wanted a
like. I
piece
don't even
of
know if like somebody this day and age that's 18 even knows
Now,
about
I think we all can
SoundCloud.
agree Jay-Z doesn't need any introduction. Rising up
Hov.
from Brooklyn's Marcy Projects, he's now worth around $2.5 billion.
According to Forbes, Hov is officially the first hip-hop artist to become a billionaire, and it's all thanks to his many business and endeavors.
But how did a rapper from the streets become one of the richest people in the music industry? You see, Jay didn't just drop hits. He made strategic business moves in fashion, tech, sports, and luxury. His story isn't just about talent or
music,
hustle or anything like that. It's about understanding the game.
Because the day and
how to
age he
change
was
the
making
rules.
music.
In the early 90s, Jay-Z was just another rapper trying to get signed. But believe it or not, no one in the industry wanted to take a chance on him. They thought he was too old and had a rap style that was a little too unorthodox. So Jay-Z flipped the script. He built his own empire from the ground
people
up.
think he the
In
greatest rapper of
1995,
all
Jay
time.
teamed up with Dame Dash and Kareem Biggsburg to launch Rockefeller Records. Came out with his first release, Reasonable Doubt, which is now considered a classic in the rap world.
Maybe it's for the best though. It's when they see too much.
But Rockefeller wasn't just a platform for Jay-Z. It became a whole movement. They ran the label like a crew. You got Dame Dash with the hustle. Then you got Jay with the heat. And then Kareem Burke with the business savvy. All of this mixed with their connection to the streets, and Rockefeller completely redefined what a hip-hop label even was. They were dominant.
You know, that was the genius thing we did. We started selling our own CDs and we built our own buzz, and then the record company came back to us. So now we had a different negotiation. It wasn't the same artist-label relationship.
Jay-Z got such a different sounding voice. That's cool.
But in 2004,
I wish I had
Jay-Z
an
made his
accent.
next
I
big
think accents make you sound so much cooler.
I cannot believe it's already been over 3 years with my BetterHelp therapist. After 3 years of therapy, this is what I figured.
But in 2004, Jay-Z made his next big move. He sold the label to Def Jam for $10 million and stepped into an executive role as president of Def Jam Recordings.
Didn't he try to give Lil Wayne $10 million?
And behind the
He
scenes
tried to sign Lil Wayne for $10 million.
Now, Jay still wasn't satisfied. You see, in 2008, he left Def Jam and launched Rock Nation. Rock Nation quickly expanded from a record label into managing huge artists like Rihanna, J. Cole, and DJ Khaled. It became a major entertainment force. And he still didn't stop. In 2013,
I don't understand how DJ Khaled is an artist.
Everybody by launching Rock Nation Sports,
one time.
signing stars like Kevin Durant.
Okay,
he even sold the stake that he had in the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh,
to
okay,
make
I was
it
about to
happen.
just say
And that's the end of the Jay-Z story. Not. He still didn't stop. In 2015, he jumped into the streaming world. He bought
this
Tidal
title was
for $56 million. Jay, help another Jay out, brother. And on top of that, he sold 33% of the company to Sprint for another $200 million.
Yeah, you never know. He might have watched this video,
While
bro.
most artists are struggling
He
and
be watching
complaining
the
about
Gilbert Arenas
how streaming
podcast. You never
services
know
pay
what he
so
be
little,
watching.
here's Jay-Z buying the streaming service. He said it himself.
He bought
I'm
Tidal,
not a
but
businessman.
didn't
I'm
Tidal
a
go out of business?
man. And Jay-Z kept firing off at the hip. Luxury champagne deals, $204 million sale of
I'm not a
Rockaway.
businessman.
Jay turned his
I'm a
creativity
businessman.
into long-term financial security. Plus, he's not afraid to call out the music industry's flaws. In the Story of OJ's song, he talks about a lot of different issues, but one thing he talks about is financial literacy.
Financial freedom, my only hope.
Instead of wasting money and being
Financial
flashy
freedom,
like he
my
used to
only
when he
hope.
was younger, he now encourages investments and community building. The lyrics reveal mistakes that he made and lessons that he learned, and at the same time, he's trying to
Still
inspire
nigga.
fans on investing and escaping any systemic barriers that they might be surrounded with. Jay-Z was talking to Warren Buffett, and he said, the industry's biggest lie is that artists can't be creative and wealthy at the same time.
That was the greatest trick in music that people ever pulled off, is to convince artists that you can't be an artist and make money. I think the people that were making millions actually said that. I think they set that whole thing up. You know, it was almost like shameful, like especially in rock and roll. You had to pretend that, you know, you got these millionaire guys who had to pretend as if they weren't successful at all, or it would be like a detriment to their career.
His blueprint is own your art, run your business, change the game. All right, Swifties, it's your turn.
Swifties.
Taylor Swift signed her
What the
first
heck?
deal at just 15 years old.
Dang, she did. Child prodigy.
And like
I didn't
most
know
new
that.
artists, she signed away her masters. Fast forward to
Ooh.
2019, Scooter Braun bought her old label, Big Machine, and with it, the rights to her first 6 albums.
It's just unbelievable.
How did you find out?
I found out when it was online, like when it hit the news.
Nobody in your inner circle
Nobody knew.
And you didn't smell it.
No. I knew he would sell my music. I knew he would do that. I couldn't believe who he sold it to, because we've had endless conversations about Scooter Braun. and he has 300 million reasons to
sold it? Her dad?
Forget those conversations.
Her manager?
Taylor called it her
Who
worst
sold it? I'm so
nightmare.
confused.
Not just because of the deal, but it meant that a man that she described as a bully now controlled her life's work. She tried to buy her masters back, but she says that Scooter Braun refused unless she agreed to sign a gag order that she would stay quiet. And then came the final straw. You see, Scooter Braun turned around and sold the masters to an investment firm, Shamrock Capital, for $400 million. He didn't even give Taylor the option to try to bid them out.
He had to be going broke to sell it for $400 million. Because he probably could have made more just having it.
Sold to Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings in a deal that I'm told was funded by the Soros family, 23 Capital, and the Carlyle Group. To this day, none of these investors have ever bothered to contact me or my team directly to perform their due diligence on their investment, in me, to ask how I might feel about the new owner of my art. And of course, Scooter never contacted me or my team to discuss it prior to the sale or even when it was announced.
And that's when Taylor decided to flip the script. She didn't just protest, she launched a whole revolution. Instead of fighting over her old recordings, she just said, "I'm gonna make new ones, bitch." I don't know if she said those exact words, but that's what I imagine her saying. She announced that she re-recorded all 6 albums as Taylor's version.
Now, could you re-record?
Oh, yeah.
Might you do that?
Oh, yeah. That's a plan. Yeah, absolutely.
I was the one
Hey,
who made this
that lady
music.
probably gave her that
First,
idea.
I can
That
just
was a
make it
great
again.
idea.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. When something
Just-
says in
just sing your own
parentheses,
song
Taylor's
again, it's
version
hilarious.
next to it, that means I own it, which is exciting.
It wasn't just a middle finger to the people
But
who
is it
owned the
as
music.
special as
It
the
was a
first time
business
you
play
made it,
designed
though?
to devalue the originals.
That's the thing.
And it worked.
I can't think of a Taylor Swift song right now, but you know how like when you first make a song, it just
Music. It was a
and
business
it does
play
good.
designed to
Your
devalue
first one
the
that did
originals,
good, now you got to
and
make it
it
again.
worked. Fearless
might be
debuted
annoying.
at number 1 and outsold
But I
the
guess it's
original.
a small.
The new Red album broke streaming records. Major radio stations started playing her re-recordings.
I think they
instead
just
of the
did that because they
originals.
love Taylor Swift.
Fans started to stream just the new ones to support Taylor.
Okay,
Even
see, yeah.
brands and movie studios licensed Taylor's versions over the old ones. She basically sabotaged the resale value of the original masters.
But that was
and gained her
guitar,
power
what
in
the
the
heck?
process.
It was an amazing
I wonder if she
experience,
could really play
and
guitar.
This was something that started out as a really hard thing I went through. The fans are the people, they were just saying to me over and over again, we want to listen to your versions. If you redo it, that's what we'll listen to.
Taylor's fight sparked a
W
whole
fans.
movement. New artists like Olivia Rodrigo started pushing for better contracts. The labels felt the heat. Universal even changed the wording in their contracts to stop the new artists from re-recording their music too soon. Now that's dark. But hey, it's the music industry, baby.
Dang.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Whether you love her or not, Taylor made it impossible for the industry
W.
to
Taylor
ignore
Swift,
artists'
man.
rights. And here's
For
the
the
kicker. She didn't just take her
Swifties.
music back. Her re-recordings raked in millions. But the real jackpot was her Eras tour, the highest grossing tour in music history, crossing the $1 billion mark by the end of 2023. Currently, her net worth sits around $1.6 billion. And it gets even better. On May 30th of this year, 2025, Taylor announced that she officially bought back her original masters. The original 6 albums.
I know
that
that's
Scooter
kind of
Braun had
annoying
bought and
though.
sold
Like you
before.
bought back
After
the
a 6-year
original ones.
battle,
See,
she now
I
owns
get it though because those are
The original
babies. The original ones are
recordings,
babies.
the re-recordings,
But at
the
the same time,
visuals,
I know that's
the
annoying because you
licensing
just
rights,
recorded all
all
that
of it.
crap
No label,
just to buy
no
back
middleman,
the original
just
ones.
Taylor. It
So
was
now
the
you got
ultimate full
both of
circle
them.
moment. She didn't just fight the system.
But I know she was
beat
happy
it.
to get them
And
back
in doing
though.
so, she
But
set
at
a
the same
blueprint
time, it
for
just seemed
every
like
artist
it
out
seemed
there who ever
exhausting.
felt powerless in the contract. So I guess you can say her old label, and Scooter Braun will always have.
Please don't say it.
Don't say it. Don't you dare say it.
They'll always have bad blood.
All right, bro.
All right, I'm sorry. I had to put that in there. I won't do it again. I promise. Back to the show.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean's journey began far away from the spotlight. In 2005, he relocated from New Orleans to Los Angeles, where he quickly immersed himself in LA's
Why did
music
I think
scene.
Frank Ocean
During
looked
this
totally
time, he was
different?
working fast food and service jobs. The starving artist life that we all go through in the music world. But in less than 3 years, he established himself as a songwriter under the name Lonnie Bro. He ended up signing a publishing deal and wrote for big artists like Justin Bieber, Brandy, and Beyonce.
Name the
He
song.
also began making some big-time industry connections like Tyler, the Creator, and Our Future Collective. He appeared in their music videos.
Wait,
started
so Frank
performing at
Ocean is
festivals like Coachella from their father.
Tyler the Creator found Frank
But his
Ocean?
big moment came in
I thought this
2000
was
when he
the.
met
I
music
thought Frank
producer
Ocean was
Tricky
already
Stewart,
established.
who helped him get a deal with Def Jam Recordings. But not long after that, his relationship with Def Jam got real sour. You see, he felt rejected by the label, so Frank took things into his own hand. All by himself, without the label's help, he released the mixtape Nostalgia Ultra in 2011. The project exploded. His standout track Novocaine charted despite minimal industry support.
I was in the car and my husband was playing this music, and this guy's tone and his lyrics just touched me. And after one song, I said, okay, who is that? Because I want them on a flight tonight. And he told me it was Frank Ocean. And I immediately reached out, and he came in the next day, and we did like 5 or 6 songs. And he is just so humble, such a nice person, really, really talented, very fast. He just has so many ideas, and it's great because he's an artist, and I can't wait for everyone to hear him because he's just the truth.
With the massive buzz around Nostalgia Ultra, Frank Ocean gained significant leverage. You see, Def Jam got in line real fast. They offer full support of his debut album, Channel Orange, which debuted at number 2 on the Billboard charts. Channel Orange brought massive success, but just like most record deals, he had to pay back his advance to Def Jam. However, little did they know, Frank was already planning his escape.
3rd and goal here, 2 minutes left in the game. The crowd is on their feet. Quarterback drops.
However, little did they know.
You know what's so crazy? Frank Ocean is looked at like
by 2016,
a legend now, like almost on some
giving him his highly anticipated
some Erykah Badu level.
Frank came up with a master plan. It was a plan that completely flipped the industry on his head. You see, he dropped the Apple exclusive visual album, Endless.
Even though like Tyler,
the Creator, like
basically found him, and Beyonce basically found him.
Just 24 hours after that, Frank shocked everybody and dropped his real project, Blonde. The release was kept completely secret.
Well, Beyonce is, but like Tyler, Creator ain't looked at the same way.
Didn't even tell Apple executives until the last minute to avoid leaks. Blonde immediately became a massive success with no label to take profits.
He had a deal, and he didn't put out an album for 4 years. And with his deal, he literally figured out how to get $20 million from Lucian Grange. Drop his deal, figure out how to make the funds apply to a whole nother album, give him a bullshit album, get out his deal all in one round. That man figured out how to finesse the record industry, and people don't talk about that.
ASAP was in our
future. That man 2 years to do that shit. And then Blonde, he already got a $20 million check from Apple from that shit, and he didn't have to give any of that shit back to the label because he was already out his deal once he gave them Endless. Since 2016, already up 20 M.
Frank went from earning about only 14 to 17% royalty to about 70% of all the revenue. Multiplying his earnings overnight, Frank said himself that the Endless visual album was the final move in a 7-year chess game with Def Jam just to get out of his contract. But this chess move angered Def Jam and their parent company, Universal.
I wonder what made him think to do that, or somebody helped him think to do that, or if he just thought of it on his own.
The executives, they felt betrayed. How dare Frank do this to us? But the creative community applauded Frank. They got behind his back and celebrated his independence. And by 2023, he became the most streamed independent artist on Spotify. Over 14 billion streams. Frank didn't just outsmart the major label. He changed the game, proving artists can maintain full control and still achieve massive success. His label heist remains legendary, influencing how artists negotiate their deals and inspiring a whole new wave of independence in the music industry.
Yeah, Rihanna. Like block.
Before she was a billionaire, Rihanna was just an average 15-year-old girl from Barbados. She was discovered by a producer named Evan Rogers. Evan was on vacation when he noticed Rihanna while she was performing with a local girl group. He was so impressed with her that he invited her back to New York City to record some demos. Those early demos made it to Def Jam.
She was a child prodigy too, 15 years old. Her and Taylor Swift.
Invited her to audition.
Very similar.
Walked into the office, sang a Whitney Houston ballad.
And then a hero comes along.
Left at 3 a.m. with a contract. Now, I'm sure you know how the story goes. She dropped Pon the Replay, she became a megastar, Umbrella came out. It was insanity.
Holy crap. No wonder she signed to Tidal and always rock out with Jay-Z and she in Rock Nation and all those things. I was wondering why she was always rocking with Jay-Z.
At least not yet. After her 2016 album Anti, she made a move nobody saw coming. She stopped releasing music altogether. No new singles, no tour, no album. Fans kept asking, where's the next Rihanna project? But her answer was already in motion. It just wasn't in the studio. Rewinding back to 2014, Rihanna made a power move. She left Def Jam and signed fully with Jay-Z's Rock Nation. But this wasn't just a change in management. You see, behind the scenes, Rihanna negotiated ownership of her earlier masters. This set a precedent at the time because most artists have to either buy their masters back or legally fight for them, but she used her leverage to regain control. Now, what happens next is pretty crazy because you see, some artists actually do write some of their music, like Taylor Swift. Those artists tend to get bigger royalty splits. But because Rihanna didn't really write her own music, she usually had big teams of people working on her albums. So Rihanna decided to make most of her money a different way. In 2017, Rihanna dropped something nobody
doesn't write most of her own
makeup
music.
line, Fenty Beauty. By 2020, Fenty Beauty was pulling in over
people like
$550
Rihanna.
million
People like how
a
she
year, and Rihanna owns 50% of it. See, in business, they do something that's called an evaluation, where they determine how much a company is worth. And Rihanna's 50% stake in Fenty Beauty is worth about $1.4 billion. But she wasn't done. In 2018, Rihanna launched Savage Fenty. Within a few years, the company hit a $1 billion valuation.
She always doing that job
Rihanna's stake was
shit.
about
That's
30%.
the funniest shit in the world.
So, if you're keeping up with the math, that's another $300 million added to her net worth. She wasn't just breaking into new markets. She was dominating. By 2020, Rihanna's net worth was well over $1 billion, making her the richest female musician in the world. And the twist is, most of it didn't come from music. Music made her a household name, but Fenty Beauty and Savage Fenty made her a billionaire. Over 80% of her wealth comes from her companies instead of touring, streaming, or album sales. You see, she didn't need music to stay relevant. She just needed to own her brand, build products, and cash the checks.
Hey.
She didn't necessarily walk away from music, but she ended up building something much bigger. She proved that you don't need to keep performing and killing yourself and sucking up to the label just to make a living. Some people say Rihanna disappeared, but she just leveled up.
Nah.
Most music apps have some kind of one-size-fits-all workout playlist. But
Rihanna.
music app
disappeared, but she just leveled up. While other artists fought hard to escape the label system, Drake mastered it.
I know when there's
From day
Hotline
one,
Bling.
Drake played it smart. He signed with Lil Wayne's Young Money, and Young Money was under Universal. Now, the contract wasn't perfect. He had to split royalties across multiple entities, but it had a huge payoff. Drake took that momentum, capitalized, and he ran with it. By 2018, his original deal was done, and Drake wasn't just an artist anymore.
Wait, he said under Universal.
Leverage.
Did he mean Cash
Every
Money?
major label wanted him, but
isn't-
Universal was licking their
Isn't
chops.
Universal
They cut him a
isn't it
record-breaking deal
Universal
worth over
Cash Money than Young Money?
$400 million, one of the biggest artist contracts in history. Drake signed what's called a 360 deal. But this wasn't your average 360 deal. So typically what happens is the label invests a certain amount of money, they pay you in advance, and they offer support in different areas to help you elevate, make more profits.
That's what I be telling people that all
they make
360
more
deals ain't
profits
bad.
because they have to recoup their money, they get a percentage of what you make, and this is everything that you do. It's not just music. It's the albums, it's the tours, it's the merchandise, and even your endorsement deals. And of course, they own your masters too.
The only problem
They
is Drake
basically
didn't get
own you
paid
for
for
a
some of his
price.
work.
But what makes Drake's deal different is he had way more leverage. The insane amount of the advance shows how far the record label was willing to go just to ride his coattails. And
Don't
even
he
though
just
all the
do
details aren't public,
distribution
it's
deals now?
likely that he was able to negotiate a higher than normal royalty split. During his rise, Drake wasn't just building hits. He was building his company. In 2012, he
OVO?
launched OVO Sound.
Okay.
They signed artists like Party Next Door, Majid
Okay.
Jordan, and they operated under Warner Music Group, while Drake
I
himself
don't know
stayed with
who
Universal.
Majid
This
Jordan
setup
is.
let him play both sides. Artist on one major label and executive on another one. Total control. Now,
I
early
realized
on,
I
Drake
think
didn't
I had
own his
no idea what
masters,
Party Next
but
Door
his
looked
power
like.
grew so much that he was able to start making certain demands. By 2022, he renegotiated his Universal contract and locked down ownership of all future masters. Instead of selling them, he gives the label a license to use the music. Basically, he lets the label use and exploit his music for a percentage of the profits. Drake still gets the benefits of a big marketing machine while still keeping
I only
ownership
love my
and control
bed
over
and my
everything.
mama.
He
I'm
flipped the
sorry.
power dynamic while working within the system. And with that freedom, Drake can pretty much do whatever he wants. He can drop surprise projects. He can genre hop whenever he wants to. He runs his entire career like a CEO. He's no longer at the mercy of the label. You see, they work for him.
Do you feel like you are successful?
Yes, I do. I always want more. I think less than the dollar value, it's just more about the idea of growth and business mindset.
I mean, honestly, he's the engine that keeps the industry running.
What else
And
could he even
whether
do?
they like it or not, the labels know it. He's partnered with Nike, Apple Music,
Besides become
Beats
Drake
by
probably
Dre,
will become a
Sprite,
billionaire. But besides
and some
become a
people say he
billionaire,
lost
what
the
else
beat
could
battle to
Drake do?
Kendrick, but you gotta admit, Drake's
We
business
aight.
moves are unmatched right now in the rap game.
Beyonce, the queen
Around
bee.
the time Destiny's Child was taking a break in 2001, Beyonce signed a 3-album solo contract with Columbia Records. She got a $1.5 million advance, and it's no secret that Beyonce went on to be one of the greatest artists of all time. But what's even more interesting is how she handled her business. She started negotiating higher royalties and executive producer status on her albums and her videos. And by 2010, she had seen enough of Hollywood and understood enough of label economics to know she wanted to take things into her own hands.
Well, she wasn't a
You see, she
music-
wanted
a
something
movie.
that's called vertical integration. It's when a company takes full control of every
She is
step of the
married to
process.
Jay-Z.
They take control over
She
the
wasn't
production
Destiny.
and
She
the
was
sales
also a
instead of relying on
child prodigy. A
middlemen
lot of
and
these
others
people
to
were
do the job
child
for
prodigies
you.
now.
To accomplish this, she started Parkwood Entertainment, her
Right?
own
How old were they
all-in-one
when it was in
empire.
Destiny Child? Like
Music,
15, right?
tours, films, fashion, marketing. Beyonce
Yeah.
controls it all.
She got a
Beyonce don't
personal
answer
line,
to no
too.
label. She
Single
is the
ladies.
label.
What, nigga? I am your manager. What's up? You're the manager? That's right. How are you? You done. That's it. Your job is done, nigga. Get out.
The turning point came
Wait,
in
did that white
2011
dude
when
just
she
say
parted
nigga?
ways with
What
her
the hell?
manager, aka her father.
let him
It
do
wasn't
that in
just
a
a
movie?
family decision. It was
probably
more
got
of a
cancer.
business move because from that moment on, Beyonce managed herself. It gave her full control and complete financial power over everything she was doing. In 2013, she proved just how powerful she was because with zero promo, zero warning, she dropped her self-titled visual album on iTunes. No rollout, no radio push or anything like that. Just Beyonce.
Beyond the Glam.
And it broke the internet. People
Okay, yeah,
went
that song was
crazy.
good.
Beyonce, a few months later, just drops that Beyonce album. She does like 700,000, 800,000. Changed the entire music industry. She changed the music industry that day.
With that surprise album.
Let me tell you why. Because she didn't give the audience a chance to think.
Because she didn't give the audience a chance to think. I mean, I'm going to be real with you, cuz nobody cared.
Because she didn't give the audience a chance to think.
We all know
No,
she was
no
on
one
top
cared,
musically,
bro.
but
We
business-wise,
just
she
gonna
was
rock with
crushing
it because
too.
Beyonce
She
did it. We don't
negotiated
care.
ownership
If
of her
Rihanna and
own
Beyonce do
masters,
something, we
and
rocking
after
with it.
2011, she
It's
owned
just what it
everything
is.
through Parkwood. Beyonce controls how her music is used, licensed,
And even,
and
like,
monetized.
Caucasian
Every time
people,
a
if Taylor
movie or
Swift do
commercial
something, they
or
gonna rock
brand
with
wants to use a Beyonce song, they're basically cutting a check directly to her. With an estimated net worth of around $780
She got
million,
a gold
Beyonce isn't just
boat?
one of the most successful artists of all time. She's one of the richest.
Or is
And her
that a
biggest
yacht?
bag has
It
to
look
be
like a
her
boat. It don't
tours.
look as
The
big as a yacht.
Renaissance World Tour did $579 million. The Formation World
Dang.
Tour did $256 million. But the
Dang.
music isn't the only revenue stream. She's got the Ivy Park clothing line. She's got multi-million-dollar deals with
Ivy
Pepsi,
Park.
L'Oreal, and
She got a
Netflix
Pepsi?
deal
Oh,
too.
no, I remember the Pepsi
And
deal.
obviously, she's married to Jay-Z, so
Yeah.
you know she got stakes in his company too.
Yeah.
What makes Beyonce so impressive is that while she's doing all of this, she's still at the top of the music game. Because most artists who tend to become business moguls, they usually slow down musically. They stop making albums or they only release one every couple of years. But Beyonce puts out hit after hit after hit.
I think her last album was Cowboy Carter,
Imagine
right?
being LeBron James and you're playing ball every night, you're scoring triple doubles, and at the same time, you're the team owner and you got to run the organization too. That's Beyonce.
Yeah, but that'd be...
From writing and producing
Hey,
and mixing
Russ.
every track himself, Russ built his empire from scratch. Between 2011 and 2014, he dropped 11 mixtapes all by himself. Then he did what no label would dare do for their artists. He released a new song every single week on SoundCloud.
I was sitting in the basement with no industry people on my phone.
I swear, like,
dropping a song a
SoundCloud
week
helps a lot of
from the
people.
basement
But I
and
think
going to sleep
SoundCloud
and waking
dead.
up
I
and
just don't
opening
think
it, I had
people,
a million
like,
plays.
people probably
And
still
it
make
didn't,
music
it
on there,
didn't,
but I don't
it
think
didn't,
people
and then
checking
finally
for it
started
like they
getting
was
like
back in the
after
day,
about
like 2015, 2016.
Grind paid off. He built a massive fan base before the industry even knew what happened. When Columbia Records came calling in 2016, Russ made it loud and clear. He was doing it his way. He signed a short-term deal that gave him the machine, but he kept his independence. But in June 2020, he shocked everybody and announced that he was going back 100% independent again. You see, Russ didn't need a major label to handle his career. He came out and said, there's nothing you can do as a major label artist that you can't do independently.
It's a smash.
in the first week, but it's like,
I mean, if you
they
got
spent
the
$1 million
money, what
in
would
that
you
song.
like? If you got the money,
Like,
what would you need
what
a
are you
label
talking
for?
about?
Essentially,
So that's
because
not
all they
real
gonna
life.
do
The
is give y'all
more,
money.
like, accurate,
Like, if you
realistic
got the
thing
money
that's
to
gonna
do
happen
it, all
to
you
you. Like I
gotta
said,
do
I've
is
had
use
3
your money
songs
to
that have
do
ever
it.
just gone dumb. Out of 500. The more accurate thing is, you're gonna put out a
Label
song,
ain't nothing
it's
but
not gonna
alone.
do shit, and if it does take off, it's gonna be next year. Or in 2 years from now. Like, I put out Breathe 3/15/2021. That shit now is like having its biggest streaming days.
It wasn't just a move, it was a complete message to every other artist out there. Ownership over everything. You see, Russ did it the right way. He built himself up first, so then the labels came to him. He owned his masters, and he made sure, even when he signed with Columbia, he owned his earlier work too.
Make it a 3-album deal. And make sure they have release commitments. The release commitment is real, and the reversions. You guys can participate in the profits, but after 10 years, no, you can't. Those 3 albums that I did with Columbia, we still split 50-50 on.
But while he was with Columbia, he noticed he had a $40,000 decrease in his streaming revenue, and that was all he needed to see before he bounced. He founded his own label.
What song
and he
was on
wanted to
there?
help other artists own their
Maybe,
masters too.
maybe
He spoke about how record labels made billions
maybe
because
there
they
was
own
just
other
a
artists'
bad
catalogs.
song on there.
He wanted artists to know how important it is to own your own catalog instead of splitting profits with these big companies. Now, Russ also brought the receipts. In 2020, he posted his streaming revenue for everybody to see. You see, in 2013, he only made $48, right? Then in 2016, he was pulling in $100,000 a month.
May, June of 2016, because like June is when I partnered with Columbia.
June.
Yes.
I'm making $100,000 a month. Kylie Jenner has posted my shit. I'm charting on iTunes. I sold out my tours. Like, I have more tours booked. I have songs coming out as we speak. And I'm sitting on a debut that I know is dumb. And Losing Control of What They Want are going crazy.
And in 2023, $223,000 in 1 week. That's crazy. The kind of numbers that Russ was doing are numbers that artists only dream of because most of them have to split everything so many different ways. Now, streaming don't pay that much anyway. You don't even get 1 cent per stream. So think of having to split less than 1 cent 5 or 6 different ways. Just like Chance the Rapper, Russ proves you don't need a label.
Well,
you just need consistency,
what's the split
control,
then?
and the knowledge.
So
of
they
how to
probably
reach
just
your
don't
own.
even
In
split it up until
2018,
it gets to
Forbes
like
listed him as
$1,
one of hip-hop's
probably more than
highest
likely.
earners, pulling in $15 million without a major label push. By 2024, his net worth was
They
estimated
probably
around
like
$10
every
million,
dollar makes
and
them 1
it's
cent.
all self-made. He had hits like What They Want and Losing Control.
Losing control now.
All bringing in millions of streams every month. His tour sold out, his merch was moving. He even had a book on the bestsellers list. Every dime goes straight to him because he
I
owns
might
everything.
read that book.
Russ
I'm gonna
didn't
get
just
that
hack
book.
the industry. He built a new one. But what's the point of all this? Well, first of all, it is fun and entertaining to hear these kinds of stories, but more importantly, these are lessons that I think we can all learn from. Whether you work in the music industry like me or whether you're working a 9 to 5, you see, most of us work for a company. We don't own anything. We work hard and we hustle just to have a piece of the pie. Now, we can't all go out and start Rockefeller Records, but what we can do is start doing things like investing and starting a small business and just try to get some ownership. Now, I'm sure you heard all the cliches of get into real estate, get into the stock market, which you should do that. But I think the lesson from the artist in this video is build your brand, and that
I'll
way
be
you
real.
can monetize
Stock
yourself.
just take
Let
too
me give you an
long,
example.
and
Let's say you work at
just take
McDonald's,
too long.
right? You can use the Beyonce method.
Real estate
what
makes
you can do
sense,
is learn
but
everything
real
you
estate
need
you
to
need
know
money
about
for.
fast food service, and you can take that and then you can leverage it. You can start your own social media show where you review burgers, or you can get really good at cooking and start a show like McDonald's employee makes 5-star meal.
Well,
Then
even
down
when
the
you
road,
do
can
this, you're
start
still
your own
gonna be
sauce
using
company,
YouTube.
open your own restaurant. I'm giving you the game, baby. No, but seriously, I didn't make this video to be educational, but honestly, I'm always
It costs a
analyzing
lot of money
success
to open
stories
a
and
restaurant.
seeing what I can take from it, what I can learn from it, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. But let me know in the comments, who do you think should be on this list? Who else escaped the industry trap? Also, before you go, if you want to see the
Will
flip
Smith.
side to this story, watch this video on the screen next, where
I
I go
can't think
into
of
why
nobody
almost
else.
all artists actually go broke, or at least end up in a lot of debt. If you
Ooh.
haven't seen that video yet, it's entertaining, but it's also a cautionary tale on what not to do. So I'll see you over there. Until next time. Peace.
Good video, man. Who was this?
Renting a
Hold
car
on,
for
man.
your
Let me
next
see who
family
this
road
was,
trip on
man.
the Turo app.
Who is this guy? Good video, bro. Wait, who is this? I gotta figure out who this was. Jay Diggs, man. Great video, man. Great video.